Today, you're going to learn how to use multimeter. We call it multimeter because it measures many things. When it's measuring voltage, we call it voltmeter. When it's measuring only amperes or the current, we call it amperemeter. So because it measures a lot of things, we call it multimeter. We are going to use this multimeter to measure the voltage of our system, and also to measure the current of our system. We're also going to measure the polarity of our system so that we are sure of what we are connecting is the correct terminal. So we have here a system that consists of a solar panel, which is 60 watts solar panel. It's called poly because it's a polycrystalline. There is another solar type called mono. That's another different one. But this is a polycrystalline solar panel or photovoltaic. It produces 18 volts. It has got a power of 60 watts, and it has amperes, or it has got a current at an open circuit, which is maybe 3 point something amperes. But we are going to measure everything. Now, the system consists of this solar and the charge controller that charges a battery. The system normally should be like this, but this is without a load. There is no load on the system. So let's start first of all, we're going to measure the voltage, and then we're going to measure the current. We're also going to measure the polarity, and then by using the measurements of the current and the voltage, we're going to use their product so that we can get their power. So when you're going to measure multimeter, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but we are going to use, we are going to put this terminal on where we are going to measure. Let's say we're going to measure voltage. You're going to put, first of all, you put this one on the common. You don't remove this one. If you want to measure voltage, you place this one here, and then you take this point to point the voltage current, the voltage of a DC system. And then if you want to measure the current, you place this one on the current, which is maximum current here is 20 amperes. If you are measuring milliamperes or very small currents, you're going to measure this, use this. But because you're going to measure amperes, then you're going to use this one. But let's start with measuring the voltage, and then we place this one here. Normally, multimeter, it can measure, for us we use to measure the resistance of a system. We can measure the voltage of a DC current. We can use the voltage to measure the voltage of an AC system. We can also measure the current of an AC system. We can also measure the current of a DC system. So let's now, because we are measuring the voltage, we take this point to take to the range of the voltage. Our voltage is 18 volts, so it's more than 2 or more than 20, between 20 and 200. So we are going to place this to 200, maximum 200 volts. So let's take this. That's where it should be when you're going to measure the voltage. So first of all, we're going to measure the voltage, and then we are going to place this red terminal, because it's placed in the voltage. We are going to place this one on the positive terminal of the system, of the solar, and this one you're going to place on the negative terminal of the solar. So let's put it like this. Take this on the plus and this one on the minus. The voltage is 18.4 because there is no sunshine. When the sun comes full, then it continues rising until it's 21 volts. That's voltage of an open circuit. But of course it's not open, but that's how it's going to measure now. So 18 volts, that's the voltage. Assume we are going to measure now the polarity. So assume we don't know which wire or which output is positive and which one is negative, or which one is the the positive terminal or which one is the negative terminal. So what you're going to use, we take these two, because we know we have connected here correctly. We're going to place these two terminals anywhere. Let's say we place it like this. Then it shows you place this one and this one, and it shows you the reading minus 19 volts. That means your measurement is wrong or your polarity is wrong. So you have to do again like this, and then it shows you correct reading, and that means this one you have placed on the positive terminal. So this is your positive terminal. This is how you're going to know which one is your positive terminal and which one is your negative terminal, which is this one. So now that we know the voltage of the system and we know the polarity of the system, we can now measure the current. The current of a DC system, when you're going to measure, what you're going to do, you remove this one, because you're going to measure the current. You're going to place the current of 20 amperes, and then you move to measure the amperes to this. I don't know if you can see. So you move up to here, and then, because of course you know the polarity. Secondly, the second thing you have to remember is when you're measuring the current, you should hold your contact steady, because when you're going to measure with these loose ends, then you're going to get some sparks, so that you can maybe destroy your amperemeter or your multimeter. So what you do, you place this one on the minus, like this, and this one on the plus. It's showing 2.58, 2.6, 2.61, 2.62, according to the sun, how the sun is shining. When the sun shines very well, then now it's 2.6, let's say 2.6 amperes. That's your current. So that's how we measure. And then our current was 2.6, and our voltage was 18 volts. So the power is 46.8 when the sun is like this, when the system is like this. Of course, when you take the solar panel directly to the sun, when it's facing directly to the sun and the sun is at its full, then the voltage maybe is more and the current is more than 2.6.